Folks, welcome to an all new episode of So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Thursday episode. We're doing a Beverly Hills recap, a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This mess, Kyle and Doute. We've got Teddy, Freddie Mellencamp being brought up multiple times. Kathy Hilton being the hostess with the mostest. Sutton flirting with a yacht captain. Bo's still trying to figure out what the hell she's signed up for. Jennifer Tilly there to potentially help Kathy claw the lobster out of the lobster shell. There are so many weird, bizarre moments in this episode, and we'll cover them all. We'll go line by line like we're studying Shakespeare, because in a way, this is our modern day Shakespeare. I do not want any hate comments for me calling it modern day Shakespeare. It is what it is, folks. This is where we get our kicks out of this. How are you guys doing today? I hope it's good. We're nearing the end of the week. It has been just so crazy busy. I've been going all day since like 8:30 a.m. I talked to Leva Bonaparte from Southern Charm and Southern Hospitality. You'll hear that later, I think probably on Saturday, along with the Southern Charm recap. Yeah, I mean, I'm still recovering. I went to Kathy Hilton's DirecTV holiday party last night, and if we live in a simulation, I think last night was proof that we do live in a simulation. There's no way that last night was real. Most of the Salt Lake women were there. I did a whole recap of my night at Kathy Hilton's over on the Patreon. What up, baddies? So go check it out over there. I'm still recovering. I really don't know. I don't have words to express how just insane that to be in Kathy Hilton's house, to walk around her house with all the housewives there and the Bravo celebrities, John Jansen and Alexis Bellino. I don't know what to say, but it's wild, and I feel very blessed to I don't know. I feel blessed in a lot of this stuff, even though I always say it's the hardest I've ever worked in my life. But it also makes you kind of face all of the shit that you're not good at. Like I don't love. I get really anxiety ridden when I go to public things. But I'm really glad I went. Luckily, Justin Martindale, who I work with on Jeff Lewis, I got to go with him, and thank God he was there. He was my wing. He's buddies with Trixie Mattel, so I got to meet Trixie, and that was really cool. I mean, just so many little cool moments, and it was like there was some drama with the Salt Lake. It was like being in an episode of Salt Lake. Angie Katzenavas was so beyond nice. Bronwyn was really funny. Whitney told me the reunion is going to be off the chain. She didn't use those words. I'm trying to use young hip kid words like off the chain. Is it off the chain? That's probably like a phrase from 10 years ago. Regardless, we're here to talk about Beverly Hills today. We can't get, and by the way, how many holiday parties do you think Kathy Hilton throws? I think the whole month she just throws holiday parties. Like, cause I think she threw one last week I was seeing, and I don't know. Watching Lisa Barlow and Kathy Hilton duet on Last Christmas by Wham, I'm just telling you, my soul left my body. And by the way, like all of you guys listening, I think you would get the same kick out of it that I do, but it is funny for those people that don't. They're like, why does this guy get so excited? I don't know why I get so excited. I don't know. Why do you like food? Why do you like breathing air? It's just it's something innate. And you know who I got to speak with last night? I got to speak to, one of my favorite cast members from the Netflix's Love on the Spectrum, Abby. Remember Abby? She loves The Lion King, and her boyfriend took her to Africa. And I got to meet her and her mom. I had this lovely conversation with her mom, and they were talking about how Abby, like 5 years ago, was basically nonverbal on the spectrum, and how much she's come out of her shell. And Abby was telling me she got to go to the Mufasa premiere this week and saw Beyonce. She goes, I waved at Beyonce. And then I told her how much I loved her singing The Lion King, and she started singing Lion King. And once again, soul left my body. In fact, I think Abby should do a duet with Lisa Barlow at some point. Wouldn't you love anyways, I think the new season of Love on the Spectrum comes out like early to mid 2025. And I just think it's one of the best life-affirming reality shows out there. When you compare it to Housewives, like Housewives, you're in the muck and the mire. Love on the Spectrum makes you appreciate life. Like, I don't know if I watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or Real Housewives of Potomac and go, wow, this makes me appreciate life. I mean, do you watch Beverly Hills and go, wow? I mean, maybe you kind of love your life in the sense that you don't have to do this. Like, these shows to me aren't aspirational anymore. And by the way, also, I'm a dude, so it's like, I'm not like, wow, I'm wish I could fit in all these cool dresses. Like, I wish I could have a $35,000 Titanic purse like Jennifer Tilly does. Like, I mean, it's cool. I mean, that's one of my huge blind spots I always tell you is that I don't, I'm an Old Navy guy. That's where I primarily shop, and it fits my curvy body well. But yeah, I don't watch it. I mean, I watch it in the sense that I'm like keeping track of their finances, and then I'm like, Erica Jane, you don't want to be spending that $150,000 on a Porsche. We talked about that last week. Fucking $150,000 on a Porsche. Are we using our minds in any possible way? It's beyond me. It is beyond me. You can't take it with you, folks. I don't think they allow in heaven, I don't think they allow you to bring your fancy bags and your car. If they do, I'm fucked. Like, yeah, wouldn't that be the most disappointing thing? You get to heaven and they're like, we brought your shitty Toyota Corolla up there with you. This is your car in heaven. You're like, what? Wait, what? No. Anyways. That's some opening statements. We're doing a whole Vanderpump episode pretty soon of Vanderpump news stories, but I have to just mention this really quickly because I woke up and I thought I was still dreaming when I read this first thing in the morning. The headline, Tom Sandoval splits with lawyer, tells judge he will represent himself in Raquel Leviss court battle. Now, In Touch Weekly is not using Raquel's new name of Rachel Leviss. I don't know if In Touch is like a little jab at Rachel, but used her dead name, Raquel Leviss. And I just thought, no fucking way. But according to court documents obtained by In Touch, Tom filed a substitution of attorney notice in the ongoing legal battle involving Raquel and his former girlfriend, Ariana Madix. So he had this attorney, you guys, Veron Gorgian from the law firm Gorgian Law Group, and they will no longer be working on this case. And Veron and his partner, Tara Karamians, had been working on his case for months. Previously, if you remember, Tom had another lawyer, Matt Garagos, Mark Garagos' brother. Mark Garagos, I believe, is the one representing Rachel Leviss. It was like brother against brother. And he had let Matt go after all that crazy shit went down a couple of months ago, where it made Tom even look worse because he was trying to like fuck Ariana, or it appeared like he was trying to fuck Ariana in this case. And so now he is wanting to so he doesn't have legal counsel, and his notice of the court explicitly stated he will be representing himself moving forward. So how does this work? I mean, and by the way, I don't think this is a jury trial, but how do I get to watch this? Like, Tom Sandoval representing himself? I'm sorry, now I need Vanderpump Rules Season 12 with the OG cast, because you would be able to see Tom Sandoval prepare to represent him. This is like My Cousin Vinny to like the extreme. Like, is Tom Sandoval going to start watching like law dramas? Like, I'm studying up, dude. Let's do this. What's up, dudes? It's me, Tom Sandoval. I would like to talk to the court today. I just wanted to say, man, yeah, I illegally did this video with Rachel, who was cheating on with Ariana. I don't know if you guys are aware, but anyways, I was doing it so I could have something to potentially whack off to at some point. And then just shit hit the fan, dude. Ariana found it, dude. You know, women are crazy, dude. Women's instincts. And then somehow I think Ariana sent it to herself, but she didn't send it to anybody else, dude. And I didn't send it to anybody. That was like personal spank bank material, dude. I would take it over to my buddy Schwartz's and I would whack off with it in his bathroom because I didn't have suspicions at my house that I share with Ariana court. And I'd like to call my first witness. My first witness is Ken Todd, dude. Kid's like, I can't believe I'm testifying in your Sandoval trial. I can't believe that. I can't believe in the jacuzzi. Like, what? Is Sandoval gonna cross-examine witnesses? Okay, dude. I would like to cross-examine Raquel Leviss, dude. Here's my first question: do you miss me? Do you miss me, dude? What happened to that galaxy light I gave you, dude? They're like, sustain, or like, objection, sustain, Okay, dude, different line of questioning. Dude, I don't know, dude. I just want to say, man, like, it takes two to tango, dude. And you, like, threw yourself at me, dude. If it pleases the court, I gotta tell you, this girl was all about it, dude. And then all of a sudden, she just dips out, man. She dips out on me, dude. Like, I'm the victim in this. Can you sue for that? Because I feel like I have a lawsuit anyways. I rest my case. Like, how is this going to go? It just feels like we're not living in any sort of reality anymore. And then you just kind of think, oh no, does that mean Tom's out of money? So he's like, fuck it, dude. Represent myself, man. I know the shit. Like, what would possess you to do that? And at the same time, I'm really wanting to see it. And I'm really pissed that they're not going to be covering it on Vanderpump Rules Season 12. Because this would be... Could you imagine a storyline where you're following Sandoval to court and then they get like those court cams and you watch... I mean, I'm sorry. That's a fascinating episode of television. God, court TV needs to get on this or something. The Sandoval trial, dude. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that briefly just to get it off my chest. I mean, I've been thinking about it all day. What do you guys think? Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Like, should we do a GoFundMe? I feel bad for the dude. Like, I don't feel like he should be representing himself. We've got to know some lawyers that will work pro bono at some point. Like, this is, I mean, the universal healthcare murderer, that Luigi guy, people are donating money to his court costs. Like, people are like, I'll pay for your best defense for the dude that killed the healthcare CEO, the Luigi guy. And Sandoval's representing himself. Zoinks? What? Anyways, let's get into the mess that is Beverly Hills. Like I said, I hope you guys are doing good. If you get a chance, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's a quick, free way to support your fellow podcasters or podcasters that you appreciate, so we can do the heavy lifting of talking about this insanity. For Beverly Hills this season and past seasons, the notes have been taken by Juliana Carosa, and she just kills it. I love it so much. It makes it so much easier for me. So I always think a huge thank you to Juliana. Just truly, truly, truly amazing. This is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 4, Quattro. We are 4 episodes into this season. And, if you compare it to Salt Lake, it's really hard to compare because Salt Lake, I always say it's just insane. It's on another planet. Beverly Hills, there's a darkness. I even feel like they're using like low light, like camera shots where it just feels dark. You're just like, oh, it's just darkness everywhere. This episode is called Twisted Sisterhood. Fuck, how metal is that? There was an 80s band called Twisted Sister with Dee Snider, and they sang the song, "You gotta fight for your right to party." But this is Twisted Sisterhood because we're delving into the sisterhood of not only these Beverly Hills ladies, the sisterhood between Kathy and Kim, the fallen sisterhood between Doute and Kyle, the sisterhood of Kyle and Freddie Mellencamp. Freddie gets brought up in this episode. Erica, still taking a weird back seat, even though, she has opinions. Sutton, horned up Sutton, falling in love with this yacht captain. I mean, I say, I'm super horny. And by the way, the people that Sutton seems to be attracted to, it's either like her drivers, her staff that works for her, because she admitted she made out with one of her drivers, or it's just like random like employees on like jaunts that they do. And I saw the captain, like, did you women and gay dudes out there, did you guys swoon over this guy? I just thought he was like an average dude, and they're like, I like the cut of this man's jib. Look how he fills out those dockers. I say, Sutton like him. Mama like come to Sutton. I say. The description we get from the cable company says, the girls' oceanside getaway gets derailed when a tense exchange between Doute and Kyle leaves the two at an impasse. On a boat trip, Garcelle feels adrift over her soon-to-be empty nest. Do you like what they did there on a boat trip? Garcelle feels adrift. the wording there, boat trip adrift. I see what you're doing. I don't know if I like it, but I appreciate the effort. We start, as we always do, with scenes from previous episodes this season. Previously on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we have the scene from the first episode, Doute to Erica at the Pacific Design Center when Erica was purchasing goods that I don't think she can afford. Doute going, PK and I have agreed to separate. Boop, 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 boop. And, Erica going, oh my God. Oh, it's crazy. Oh my God. I'm so shocked and saddened. And then we had Sutton reading Doute and PK's IG announcement, because if you separate or you divorce, you gotta announce it on IG. That's an American law. And Sutton reading going, well, they've made the mutual decision to take some time apart, I say. And then the scene with Kyle to Garcelle at Sutton's Surrealism Ball. And Kyle's like, Mo moved out like 2 weeks ago, and Alexia moved out. It's just a lot of changes. I might need Freddie Mellencamp to move in with me and work out with me in my home gym. We're going to fight to see how much we can deadlift. And you know that refrigerator's got to be empty as all hell. God, Teddy Mellencamp barely eats carrot sticks, and Kyle doesn't drink diet soda anymore, or any kind of soda. It's got to be it's just wealth and opulence everywhere. Every kemosabe hat that you could ever want in your life, and then just the saddest refrigerator known to man. You just got to open it up, and you just got to hear tears, like, just moaning. And then we have a scene from Doute to Erica going, there's been something going on with Kyle and I for a good year and a half. I feel it in my bones. And then Erica in a talking head going, Kyle and Doute have a lot to work out. I'm Erica Jane. And this year I don't have the hot potato. And then Kyle at Sutton's ball to Doute going, I know what hurt you. It was obviously what I said on Amazon Live. And we cut to Kyle on Amazon Live saying, we've only gone one trip together as a couple that I can recall. And then Doute back to Kyle at that ball going, and then you get to the point and you say, I fucking exaggerated our friendship. Grace time is over, you fucking bitch. She didn't say the fucking bitch. That's just me interpreting what I think her inner monologue is saying to Kyle. It's called artistic license, folks. I'm an artist. And that's what you just throw in, those kind of artistic flourishes to really make the point. And I do want to say, once again, the episode doesn't start off great when we're already speaking about Amazon Lives. We need some kind of Bravo law where you can only speak about podcasts, Amazon Lives, and BravoCon a handful of times throughout the season. If, last week's episode, I counted like 38 flashbacks to BravoCon. At this point, I know the game that Doute funnily picked Kathy Hilton as her favorite Hilton sister, and Kyle was offended by that, even though it was BravoCon. This wasn't a court proceeding. This wasn't dramatic. It was BravoCon. Anyways, Kathy then in a scene going, we're going to go on a little trip to Oceanside. Remember that last week? She was driving all around town with just chomping on bananas in her Rolls Royce with her friend and her back pillow and just dropping off luggage for the big Oceanside trip. Sutton's reading Kathy's letter in the hotel room going, I'm so happy to be sharing the next few days beach bonding with you. Signed, Kathy, I say. And Sutton was all upset that Kathy didn't write something more personal, especially you, Sutton. I wanted you especially. Signed, Kathy Hilton. And by the way, last night at Kathy Hilton's place, I didn't get to go upstairs, but I was hoping to see the room that they keep Kathy alive in, that they hook her up to all those machines that we saw in the first episode, but I didn't get to see that. At dinner in Oceanside, where we left off last week, the last scene, Doute and Kyle were starting to get into it at the beginning of dinner, and Doute's like, I think it's important we address the elephant in the room. And Kyle's like, you showed my text to everybody. And Doute's like, you are painting me to be as that girl. And Kyle's like, don't exaggerate. And Doute's like, I don't give a flying F. And the F stands for fuck. And then Kyle's like, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Can you let me talk? And Doute's like, it's okay, Kyle. It's time for you to fucking listen. And Bose is like, ooh, girl. And we didn't have any taglines like we've had the first two or these past 2 episodes. No taglines today because there's just too much story to tell. Now, I also want to say this week, I've talked about this a couple of times, But this week we got some paparazzi photographs of Morgan Wade and Kyle Richards and Lisa Rinna like bumping into each other or purposely meeting for coffee. And I've said this, I just said, how, like, first off, I thought Morgan Wade was out of the picture. And Morgan Wade,
Kyle, I'll never be out of the picture. It's me, Morgan. I don't want you to say my name on TV, but I'm a part of your life still.
So Morgan's still fully involved. And would you ever let Lisa Rinna be around your friend? Like, even if Morgan Wade is just Kyle's friend, there's enough rumors that I would never let Lisa Rinna around me. Just so, like, because, you know, she's like, I hung out with Morgan and Kyle today. I gave them some of your bolognese, Harry. And then her calling Erica, Erica, you must talk to the press secretly and saying that Morgan and Kyle are still together. Rinna, it's me. I'm pulling the puppet master strings from behind the scenes. Okay, so that's where we pick up. And we're right at the beginning of the episode, continuing the exchange between Doute and Kyle at a dinner at this Pacific Mission Hotel River restaurant in Oceanside, California. And Doute's like, for whatever reason, you treat me a certain way, Kyle. There's two sets of rules. God forbid if I don't have absolute blind loyalty, and I mean blind to a fault. You're okay to make little comments. You're okay to do things. And Kyle's like, I've actually defended you and had loyalty towards you. And Doute's like, I make a little misstep, you punish. I do punish, that's true. You don't speak to me for 6 months. Kyle's like, I acknowledge that. If you have these things building up. And Doute's like, I have had them building up, Kyle. They're not just in the last couple of years. This is the way you treat me. It's the way you've always done it. And Kyle's like, explain it to me. Well, I make silly comments and I say, oh, I had to save Kyle's fashion show. Flashback to Kyle's 2019 fashion show. You know, the Kyle with Shahida, you know, that whole thing. And Kyle in the 2019 scene says, that doesn't work on me because of my boobs. And Doute's like, yeah, but you're not wearing all the pieces. I know. Kyle, you don't like that black robe? And then Doute and a talking head going, of course Kyle's freaking out. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. And I'm just thinking, I've got to save Kyle's fashion show from Kyle. Beep boop bobby boop boop boop. Let the master of Beverly Beach do my work. Doute in the present scene goes, it was a joke, Kyle. Big deal. You didn't speak to me for 6 months. 6 months. And now you must die. So obviously she's saying that Kyle, this is a pattern with Kyle. If Kyle sees something on this show that hurts her feelings, she withholds her love. She pulls her love way back in. So she's very protective of herself. But, you know, obviously Doute has been keeping score this whole time. So it is wild because you really go, man, this really seemed to fuck Doute up. Like, it's all coming out now. And once again, Doute is separated from her husband, PK, and it just seems like Kyle, fuck my relationship with PK. It's you I want to talk about, Kyle. Non-stop. You. PK's a big old drunk, a big old alcoholic. Yes, he needs help, but I want to talk about Kyle. Did you see that rumor? Okay, so 2 rumors that happened this week. The one was that Doute was spotted leaving Mauricio's high-rise penthouse. Complete bullshit rumor. I don't buy it for a fucking second. Men are stupid. We are stupid. But there's no way that Mauricio is that stupid. I just don't think there's any chance in hell, even though it would make for great reality television, it'd be for a very amazing season of Beverly Hills. I don't think it is true. Doute's like, I'm throwing myself at Mo. Do you like what you see? Do you want to feel around the goods? See, just poke around, Mo. I don't believe that's true. And Carlos King, the producer and podcaster of Reality with the King, I talked to him last night at Kathy's party, and he came out on his show saying that he heard that the Doute PK thing is like faked for storyline. And I think Carlos is dead on about a lot of things. I told him last night, I don't think he's dead on about that. I just don't foresee because they've had issues for a while. It's just that Doute has chosen not to be honest about them on this show, which was one of the reasons she got a talking to before this season from the producers, to be like, you got to step it up and start sharing the reality of this. And also, I think there's a world in which then we're dismissing PK of actually being a guy and having stupid guy thoughts of like, I want to be single, PK. I don't like how you've changed since fame hit you differently. Like, there's a part of this where I truly believe it. And they hadn't been living together for a very long time. So I told Carlos this, but who knows? I mean, he does have a lot of insider information. I just don't buy that this is fake. Because I think, good for the show, but not good for anything else. Not good for your actual lives. Like, how do you then go around the holidays of like, yeah, we faked a separation to get a little attention. Anyways, happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's weird. So Sutton, during this fight, Sutton whispers to Erica across the table. And Sutton's like, we're going back that far? I say 2019? And Erica mouths back, it was years ago. It was years ago. By the way, Sutton did this, and she did the whisper thing in plain sight, but fucked Erica over the next night at dinner because she did the same exact thing. Anyways, Kyle continues, first of all, Doute, because I'm starting a business, it was exciting for me. We're talking about 2019. And you were putting me down, like, making fun of me. I would never do that with your business. And by the way, I mean, didn't Kyle make fun of Beverly Beach at some point, Kyle's swimsuit line? And anyways, Doute goes, you've got to be joking me. You got to be joking. You can make fun. And you guys, my prayers have been answered because we finally, after 2 seasons of not bringing it up at all, we finally have brought up what I think is a mecca in Los Angeles, and unfortunately it's going to be closing down. Doute's room, aka the Capri room at Buca di Beppo, one of my favorite storylines of all time. And I love that Doute mentions it. And we flash back to 2019 where Doute goes, okay, I'm showing you guys the Capri room, which I designed. And Kyle in a talking head then goes, do I feel like I've been transported to Capri, Italy? And Doute asking, is it okay, everybody? And Kyle totally overboard going, it looks amazing. And then in that same talking head, Kyle going, no, I haven't felt like I've been transported to Capri, Italy. Well, then you're not using your imagination, Kyle. When I saw those Party City fake lemons and the white lattice that I think they got at Home Depot, I mean, I was transported. I've never been to Capri, Italy, but this, to me, is the closest I will probably ever get. And so for me, it was magical. I'll tell my kids about this one day, and hopefully they'll tell their grandkids about it one day of like, do you remember when Pop went to Capri, Italy at Buca di Beppo in Encino? Like, for me, it meant something. And so Doute, though, does have a leg to stand on here. Of Kyle does do the same behavior that Doute does, but that's the show. And Kyle sometimes forgets the show. It's like The Godfather of like, this is the business we chose. This is the business you chose. This is how the business is run. It's not super supportive or, you're exuberant to somebody's face and then in a talking head, you completely throw them under the bus. That's how this show has always run. Always run. Doute back at this dinner going, it's always okay for you to do it, Kyle. It's always okay. That's always funny. But for me, and Kyle's like, I didn't say that it's okay and it's funny. You have treated me a certain way for a sustained period of time. I'm fed up with it, Kyle. And Kyle's like, I was a very good friend for many, 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 many years. But then remember on Amazon Live, she said, we weren't that close. Which is it, Kyle? Your Amazon Lives are coming back to haunt you, Kyle. The fact that all these 18 seasons or 14 seasons or whatever the fuck season, I think 14, it's coming back to haunt everybody. You realize that we have documentation, and it kills me that we do because I love Kyle so much, but Doute is coming spitting facts. And Doute says, I'm talking to you specifically about the way, and Kyle keeps interrupting, you have been acting like I have been a shitty friend. Have not been good in the last. And Kyle shouts, it's been 2 years since I lost my best friend. I'm going through a fucking separation. I've started to dabble in women. Give me a fucking break. So Kyle being backed into a corner here, right? And when she does that, she all of a sudden brings up everything that she's going through. But I feel like you don't need to be backed into a corner to bring up your actual mental state. You know, we could have had this at the Surrealist Ball of like, dude, Doute, I'm fucking lonely at home. Mo is buying his own bed sheets and his own towel sets at his new high-rise fun condo. Morgan doesn't let me mention her name on the show. I'm going through it, man. All my daughters are leaving. Like, we could have had this conversation in the first episode. Sutton gasps, by the way. Sutton's like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe what I'm seeing with my eyes. I say. But everybody has that zoink, 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 zoink. We go around the room and like reaction shots. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you could actually make a silent film out of this. And it would be, I think we would still be able to follow along. There's a lot of extreme face reactions. Always on Beverly Hills. Erica Jane back in the day when she was like, being, the government, the Tom Girardi stuff. Remember with the hand over the forehead, like, oh, I can't believe I'm going through this. I can't believe it. Just all the time. There's such extreme face acting and hand motions. I mean, it's something to behold. Truly, what a gift. So then, sorry, you guys, I took a dinner break and watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I know we're in the middle of this recap, but I had to take a dinner break. I had to eat to fuel myself, and then I watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Watch What Happens Live right after it. And I'm telling you, nobody's doing. Sorry to Beverly Hills, but nobody's doing it like that's the Salt Lake City girls. But we'll talk about that on Friday. Back to this fight. Sutton just gasped, and Doute's like, Kyle, I knew you were going through a hard time. I was not going to give you a hard time knowing what you were going through. That's why when you said to me the other night, okay, well, but you've been treating me like that. Give me some grace, you said. Give me some grace. That's what I've been doing for 2 fucking years. I would like to know, and I've been taking it and taking it and taking it. But the things you're saying, but you push me too far, Kyle. You push me too far. And Kyle is all like offended. And Doute's like, you do not get to pick and choose when it's okay, when you want to be friends, when it's convenient. And when I put a step wrong, you decide I'm going to freeze Doute out and I'm going to punish her. Did you get mad at Erica? How many times can I say when? And then we get a flashback to reunion day 4 months earlier, and Doute is like, Doute's talking to Erica, and Doute's like, she sends me a text yesterday basically trying to silence me. How would you feel if you got this message? And she reads the message, and Erica's like, I would feel manipulated. I gotta take a poo. I'm gassy. Kyle looks at Erica and goes, okay, I was hurt by that, absolutely. However, that was the only thing that Erica did. Wasn't all these things built up like you have done to me? Oh, got it. So when she said on Watch What Happens Live, wondering if you were going to get eviscerated like she had. Flashback to Watch What Happens Live 4 months earlier. Andy to Erica is like, hey, we do the reunion next Friday. As somebody who got eviscerated, yes, I would like to see everybody get the same treatment. And Andy's like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. It's fucking different, though. I'm sorry. Erica was getting eviscerated because of Tom Girardi, because of never seeming to actually fully give a shit about the victims. It's different. I'm sorry, it's different. Her actual breakup with Maritza and whatever was going on with Morgan Wade does not compare to what Erica Jane was doing back in the Erica Jane days, right? I mean, anyways, Erica at this dinner goes, now that I'm drawn in, I'm going to speak for myself. I was speaking to Andy saying, hey, I got eviscerated. The story is very big. Are you going to do the same thing? I'm Erica Jane. And Kyle's like, that's how I took it. So that's all it is. It's exactly the way I heard. It's pointed towards the show. So why are you saying I should get mad at her. And Doute shouts, I didn't say you should get mad at her, but if I did something like that, you sure as fuck would get mad at me. And Kyle's like, she also apologized to me. Like, so voices are getting raised. The city of Oceanside that night reported a 5.4 earthquake on the Richter scale, and I truly think that's Doute. Now, Jennifer Tilly in a talking head's like, the only thing I understand is this is some sort of beef that goes back years and years and years, and it's impossible to keep up. Just hoping it will die down soon so I can have my dinner. Jennifer in the scene goes, food tastes better when you eat it with your hands. Hell yeah, Jennifer Tilly. And Bose is like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Let me just eat my food. And Erica's like, eat your taco, or whatever that is. Right, Kyle? Eat your taco. Yeah. And then Bose in a talking head's like, look, none of these women gave you what they think at face value. They are not direct. There is something underneath. You pick up a stone over here. Oh, there's a rock under that. You pick up a rock. Oh, there's a toad. Is there a toad sitting on something? Absolutely. And so I'm going to have to figure out what are all the layers underneath all these grievances, underneath their stories. But I'm not scared. And she laughs. But it is true. Like, Bose, you should have done a lot of homework before. You should have figured out all of the layers. I like you're coming in cold, but there's a lot of layers to uncover. But I mean, I kind of appreciate somebody coming in cold and just trying to feel it out. Now, Sutton speaks up. She's like, well, I just want to speak up for a second. I too have experienced the punishment. Well, Kyle has not spoken to me for months at a time, I say, and we've talked about this. And I say, you know, Kyle, maybe this is something that you should work on. Name them. I said, name them. Flashback to a lunch recently with Kyle and Sutton, and Kyle's like, she said that I iced her out. Well, you do ice out, Kyle. We talked about this. Yeah. Sutton continues, and you said, you're right, and this is something I'm going to work on. I think that this is fixable. I mean, I hope. And then she says to Doute, well, I mean, you sound more angry than I knew. And Doute's like, oh, I am. For many, many reasons. Kyle rolls her eyes dramatically, and Sutton's like, well, but I know, and that's hard to hear. Look, it's hard to hear when someone is angry at you, I say. And Sutton to Kyle says, well, you don't like people being angry at you, Kyle. You know, this is something, nobody likes it. Yeah, but you really don't like it, I say. And Doute, but she is willing to work on that part of her. And Doute's like, it's not just that one part. Listen, the way I have felt. Well, I haven't seen you this angry in 5 years. You are angrier than a dragon on Game of Thrones. Exactly. Well, I'm like, whoa. And then Doute to Kyle's like, exactly. And also, whenever I've confronted you when you've done something really shitty, Kyle, your answer's always, yeah, I was mad. I didn't handle it right, and I am apologizing, okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. And I acknowledge that those are things I need to work on. And I acknowledge I shouldn't have said what I said on Amazon Live. And we shouldn't keep using Amazon Lives as plot points and roll clips from previous BravoCons. We can all agree. I appreciate that, Kyle. And I'm sorry that you're such a bitch. No, I'm sorry that the text messages that you sent me that I read with Erica and showed her we spoke about the thing at BravoCon was a joke. It was a joke. Oh, God, please don't show us that clip again. Please don't show us. They didn't show us the clip. Oh, my God, thank God. I thought they were about to show us the BravoCon clip again, and I was about to lose my mind. Erica quietly gives advice to Bose, goes, when you talk about a text message, don't erase anything. That's one to grow on, Bose. And Bose smiles, and Kyle's like, it was a joke that hurt me. Okay, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm like Dave Chappelle with those jokes. You're negating your apology, Kyle. Calm down, Kyle. And Doute's like, Kyle's like, it's not genuine when you're saying your apology is not genuine at all. I don't feel like you ever want to own anything. When Housewives start asking people to own things, Lisa Rinna, just own it. Just own it. I don't feel like you ever want to own anything that you really do. And it always comes with this like fake apology because you just, Kyle, I'm very, very happy to own whenever I've done something, ever. And you said, Doute, this hurts me. I don't. The first thing. I'm so sorry, Kyle. Oh, my God, I would never. Garcelle mouths something And Doute to Garcelle goes, pardon? Ha ha, I caught you, bitch. I saw whatever you're doing. And Garcelle's like, no. And Doute's like, no, what? Sorry. And Garcelle's like, no, I wouldn't agree with that. You wouldn't? Well, with that she was saying in terms of like, you can't just say you're sorry. You don't agree? I agree that you don't do that. Then I don't say I'm sorry? Yes. And Doute shakes her head up and down. I'm not surprised that you agree with that. And let's be honest. And Garcelle's like, okay, good. I'm not your favorite person, Garcelle. You're very clear about that. I wouldn't expect you to actually not agree with what she has to say. And Garcelle's like, okay, great. Then we're on the same page. I got to go produce a movie now. I got to go produce a Lifetime movie. Fuck off, Doute. And Doute's like, okay, we are. Garcelle's like, beautiful. Crystal, clear, yeah. And Sutton's squinching her face really hard. I can't tell if she's uncomfortable or if just her eyes are bothering her. And Doute's like, well, guys, I'm going to turn in. What a night. Kyle turns to Garcelle and glares. Kyle in a talking head's like, I came here tonight looking for resolution. She came in tonight looking for a fight. And that girl that I just sat with screaming at me, I don't know who that is. So Doute gets up and kisses Kathy goodnight, like, I will kiss you goodnight, the host, my new favorite Hilton, Kathy. Kathy's like, bye, honey. And Erica's like, wait, I'll walk you out. I'll be right back. And on their way out, Erica's like, are you okay? I'm uncomfortably cold. At the table, Garcelle's like, where do we go from here? And Kyle shrugs her shoulders and bats her eyes, and the rest of the ladies are silent. And Doute walking out's like, oh my God. And Juliana says in the note, she's like, that's big of Erica to walk her out, even though Doute brought her into the mix at the table. And, you know, I'm not going to, Juliana's like, oh, that seemed kind of genuinely, you know, she genuinely likes Doute. I don't, maybe. I think Erica's just clocking in for work. I mean, she might want to stretch her legs. Whatever. We're on day 2 in Oceanside. So night 1 done. Day 2. It's a beautiful morning and everyone's awake, getting ready for the day. I want to know what Kathy has planned for these ladies. Because remember, yesterday we did all those like beach games and stuff. And like, you know, we ended up playing like Duck, Duck, Goose and stuff like that. And I would love if I feel like we should ramp up to the point where Kathy's like, we're going to do prank phone calls. Ring, ring. Is your toilet running? I hope Kathy Hilton does extended Jerky Boys bits. You know, let's prank everybody. Let's call Lisa Rinna and act like we're Bravo offering her another show. Kyle is styling her hair for the day. Jennifer is in her room choosing which rich person hat she's going to wear. And she's like, this one has my initials on it in case I forget who I am. And then Bose is on a FaceTime call with Lael, her child. And she's like, all this packing and unpacking. I'm just going to have to pack again when we're going to Brazil. And Lael's like, I got us cute outfits. And Bose is like, wait, you got yourself cute outfits or got us cute outfits? And Lael's like, us. And Bose is like, you got us cute outfits? We should match every single day. And then there's a long pause and Bose is like, that was way too much silence. I'm hanging up. How do you hang up this phone? I gotta hang up. Okay, now we go to Sutton and Sutton's in her PJs climbing into the bed. And she's like, no slippers in the bed. What kind of 2-bit shanty town did Kathy Hilton put us up in? And Garcelle's sitting in her bed, and Garcelle's the one that said the no slippers in the bed. Oh no, sorry you guys, just having a stroke. Garcelle sitting in the bed agrees. She's like, no slippers in the bed. And is there vodka in your coffee? And Sutton's like, no, but you know there probably is. Garcelle goes, last night, Missy, how explosive was that dinner? And Sutton's like, it's like, are we allowed to eat? I gotta get my nourishment. And he's like, because we're in divorce court now with Doute and Kyle. And Garcelle's like, we were definitely in divorce court. And Sutton's like, we were in divorce court. Judge Wapner. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the people's court. Now, Garcelle in the talking head says, I don't know what's going to happen between Kyle and Doute, but this fight is completely different. I mean, it's not about, oh, you're talking too much like Doute does because she's long-winded, or you didn't come to Kemosabe when I wanted you to. This feels like betrayal, hurt, by both. And then Sutton's like, I mean, I'm sorry that you girls are fighting, but do we all have to be involved? I say, I wanted them to shut up so I could eat my food and enjoy the beach. Do you know, I can eat food pretty much through anything. Like my mom was dying and I was like eating. I was eating a lot. I was like, like, so I'm a pro. Like put an AirPod in, just eat, or have a power bar with you. Whatever. Garcelle starts petting Sutton's hair as you do, and Sutton's laughing. She's like, well, I'm getting riled up about it. It's affecting my neuropathy. And Garcelle laughs. It's like, oh my God. Now Erica's in her bathroom brushing her toothies, and there's a knock on her door. Erica spits out her toothpaste. She's like, I'm coming. And it's Doute in her bathrobe and her hair wrapped in a towel. And Doute's like, do you want to fuck? No, she's like, she just knocks. And Erica's like, oh, you look nice and fresh. Really? Well, I don't know how I'm going to look after this trip. Woo-hoo! And Doute in a talking head says, I feel like last night was the first step for Kyle and I because it was the first chance I had to get things off my chest that I've had weighing down on me. Now, Erica's wearing those like eye patches that I should wear, and she's wearing them, like the under eye patches that make, your eyes look cool. And Erica's like, let's discuss this, girl. There's this stuff with Kyle, but to me, I'm concerned about your headspace, your mental health. Yeah, because I've been here. I've had lots of experience with difficult husbands and difficult situations and separations and coming apart. Erica in a talking head says, when you are experiencing something like Doute is right now, you're quick-tempered, you're short. You're overwhelmed and you say things. You say, I fucking hate the victims. And yeah, that comes across really angry. I mean, Jay, but I know her heart. I know she's scared. She's just not saying it. And Doute says, I want to be around people that make me feel good, that I like, that I trust, that I can laugh with. That's where I am in my life right now. I've got enough to hold up. I've got enough that I need to be strong for. My little kids, Jagaloo and Phoenix. Erica puts her hand on Doute's arm. Here you go. Here's a little support. Here you go. I'm putting my hand like a supportive human being. Well, this is putting my foot down. It's the same with Kyle. I put my foot down with PK. I'm not going to do it anymore. I can't. You've pushed the wrong Doute around this time. Now, Jennifer in Kathy's room is like, that was so much fun yesterday. That was fun. Sorry. Anyways, they flash the... It's so dumb. They flash the ladies running relays on the beach and shouting and just having the time of their life doing relay races on the beach. Jennifer to Kyle says, I was like, when you and Doute got into it, you know what? Oddly, I was, okay, this sounds really awful. I was kind of enjoying it because it was like watching tennis. Yes, Kathy, yes. And Kyle has a Zoiks face like, ugh. And then we get a flashback to the dinner where Doute says, friendship is a friendship of convenience. And they show us Kathy looking back and forth like a tennis match, like boom, 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 boom. And Sutton's head looking back. I feel like I'm at the big old tennis, the U.S. Opens. I say, wow, free ticket. Now, Kathy goes, that's why I didn't interrupt. And then she says to Kyle, I would have had a little conversation today. And, I would have a little conversation today, Kyle, and, be bold. And Kyle snaps back, if I feel like it. Right, but just let your feelings... I did, though, Kathy. I don't need to keep doing that. I want to go have fun today. Let's just let it digest and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to go get my shoes and my bag and call that person that I can't name. Morgan. We see the women all dressed and ready to go and meeting in the lobby, and they do that normal thing. We're like, oh, my God, you look cute. No, you look cute. Oh, my God, where'd you get this? That's so cute. Okay, cool. You wearing underwear. And Jennifer Tilly to Sutton's like... JoJo Siwa hairpiece. I would much rather a JoJo Siwa hairpiece to whatever the fuck Meredith Marks was wearing a couple episodes ago on Salt Lake City. That thing looked like just like a hand, like a darkened hand, just hand coming over the forehead area from Meredith Marks. But I'll take a JoJo Siwa hairpiece any day because Sutton has like a scarf tied around her ponytail. And Sutton's like, I was really channeling Grace Kelly. It's me, Sutton, Grace Kelly. Now, Doute enters the lobby, and Jennifer, very loud, goes, Hello, Stevie Nicks. You look gorgeous. And Kyle rolls her eyes and turns to look at Doute's Stevie Nicks look, which is like a long, flowy skirt and, and top it with like a Chanel baseball cap. Doute fucking has a huge boner for Chanel. Chanel this, Chanel that. Kyle in a talking head says, I feel incredibly awkward, and I'm ready to go back to the punishing again. I like that they call it punishing. I'm going to be the Punisher. Kathy goes, okay, ladies, I have a little surprise. We're going to play Squid Game. One of you will die today. For real, run now. It's called Green Light, Red Light. Now she goes, I have a little surprise. We're running a little late, so we're going to arrive in style. Follow me. And they file outside and they find these 3 little open air Jeep cars, like really fancy golf carts. And Kathy goes, everybody pile on. We're off. Nobody wear their seatbelt. Let's be dangerous today. And they're driven by the hotel staff to their destination. Now, Bose, in her Jeep cart, goes, have you been on a boat with these ladies before, Garcelle? And Garcelle goes, oh, yeah, I have. You have? Yeah, Mexico. Did they behave? Erica was trying to figure out a balance of pills and alcohol, and Bose is like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And we flash back to 2022 of that iconic boat trip where Erica was like, I'm fucking drunk. I'm gonna piss on these seats. My panties are short. I don't know. Maybe I don't feel good. I'm just drinking. It's expensive to be. It's expensive to. And Garcelle tells Bose, yeah, we were a mess. All of us. And Bose is like, that's why I want to see Bose drunk, right? I mean, I feel like that's a way to get to know a housewife better, is to watch them drunk. Is that bad? But like that's part of it. You're like, I wanna get to know you in that way. I want to see what alcohol does to you. This is horrible, right? In another Jeep cart, we have Kyle talking to Jennifer and Sutton, and Kyle's like, do you know what was so funny, you guys? You will not even believe. My sister, she comes in, says, do you have an extra toothbrush? I went in, and she was brushing with her eyeshadow brush, trying to polish her teeth with toothpaste. And Sutton flips out. She's like, what? No, are you kidding me? No. And they show Kathy in a flashback in her bathroom meticulously applying the eyeshadow brush to each tooth and then wiping it real fast and then swirling it around in her mouth. Okay, you guys kick the kids out of the room or the car or wherever you're listening to this as a family. This is just adult talk. Okay, are the kids gone? What the actual fuck is going on? Like, I had not seen that. If I had known about this episode last night at Kathy Hilton's, I would have marched right up to Kathy and go, "Can I borrow your eye brush? Can I borrow your can I borrow your eyeshadow brush? I have something stuck in my teeth." That is like, I'm not the best at hygiene. I think we all know. But what the fuck? Like she used this on her eyes, and now she's like, well, I don't have a toothy brush. I guess I'll use this. Well, this works pretty good. Wow. Did I just invent something? Kathy Hilton's under eye toothbrush? Is that a thing? But it's truly fucking, I mean, it really adds to the legend of Kathy. Part of me thinks that Kathy doesn't do any of this shit. She's just trying to make moments. And she's like a prankster, right? Like, she's like, what? Well, what would they think? Wouldn't it be crazy if I make the audience believe that I brush with, and you know what's crazy? What if I use the same brush because I say they're out of toilet paper? Would you believe it? Would you believe it? Kyle says, guys, I don't understand how we can be so different and yet we're blood. What if you're adopted, Kyle? What if that comes? Anyways, they bounce to Kathy's Jeep cart, and she's probably getting sick from literally putting her eye brush in her mouth. But she's wearing a white cat eye sunnies and waving to people on the street like, hi, you're not seeing this. It's me, Kathy Hilton. Yes, Paris and Nikki are my kids. Yeah, that's me, Kathy. I put extreme amounts of caviar in a baked potato. I could own you. Hi, I could own all of this. They arrive on a boat marina and aboard a lovely yacht out of San Diego called the Seahawk. And Jennifer goes, is that our boat with the cocktails and the flowers? It looks amazing. I'm going to say this is a 90-footer. And they board, and Kathy's like, Captain? And this is Sutton's man, Captain Theo. Captain's like, Captain Theo, nice to meet you. Well, Captain Theo, Kathy Hilton, nice to see you. Nice to see you. And that's what I said to Kathy Hilton last night. I said, I'm Ryan Bailey. And Kathy said, Kathy Hilton, nice to see you. No, we didn't have any moments like that, actually. Captain Theo's like, well, we'll see you ladies inside. And Kathy enters the salon area of the boat. She's like, oh, this is beautiful. The camera shows us what the boat looks like inside. Very cool. And Sutton is shaking the captain's hand. She's like, I can put on my socks? I want to put on my socks. Hey, what's your first name, Captain? Captain Theo goes, yeah, put on your socks. Absolutely, I'm Theo. And Sutton's like, well, nice to meet you, Theo. Oh, did it get a bit nipply out? I say, oh my God, this one's pointing west and this one's pointing east. All I know, it's good to meet you, Captain, a big burly captain. And but in actuality, he just looked like an average guy, just with like a boat outfit on. Like, this isn't like a Captain Jason from Below Deck. This is just a regular guy, right? But Sutton is just taken with this man. Garcelle inside goes, safety briefing. And then Sutton to Bose goes, well, I think the captain is cute. I like the cut of this man's jibs. I can see the shape of his wiener through his white pants. And Bose is like, tell me everything. Kathy goes, ladies, please. Pay attention, I do not want a Titanic situation on my hands. And Captain Theo's like, so, I'm Theo, I'm your captain today. I just need to go over a few safety things for you. And Sutton's like, oh, goo gaga, goo goo gaga. And her eyes are like really wide and bright. And she has like this little mini skirt on, and she keeps crossing and uncrossing her legs. And we realize that Sutton is not wearing underwear, and she's doing that scene from Basic Instinct, which, no, Sutton's wearing pants. I wore my Las Vegas dick riding pants. Remember that episode last season where I didn't get to go on stage? Yeah, I want to make up for it today with Captain Theo. Anyway, Sutton looks up at the corner of her eyes and a talking head talking real slow. It's like, Captain Theo, he's got very large biceps and like this beautiful voice. He just had an average voice. Like, he has a voice. I mean, the guy's not, he has a voice, but it was just like, hey, we have life vests under these seats. We have seats upstairs. And Sutton's like, oh my God, is that Pavarotti? Oh, the voice is just it's like an Antonio Banderas voice. But the guy's just like, yeah, there's seats upstairs, seats in the back. Sutton continues in a talking head. Well, he sounds very sexy, talking about emergency situations. I bet he'd share that door with me at the end of Titanic when that greedy bitch Kate Winslet didn't share that door with Leo DiCaprio. Captain Theo would share definitely. Captain Theo continues, okay, guys, please do not put any toilet paper in the heads. Put them in the trash, please. They are very sensitive systems. They do clog fairly easy. And Son's like, holy shit, he just said my safe words. He just said toilet clog. Oh my God, I'm climaxing just hearing him talk about not putting paper down the toilets. Oh my God, I say, this is like 50 Shades of Grey right now. Holy shit. Oh my God, Dr. Mr. Gray will see you now. It's me, Sutton Srack. Anyway, Sutton goes, I would most certainly let Captain Theo park his ship in my harbor. And then the production put a blowhorn like, honk, honk. So, and guys, I was looking what up that little line meant. What she's saying is she would like Captain Theo put his dick into her vagina. That's what I put it into AI. That's what it said. So back on the boat, Kathy's like, okay, should we start to enjoy ourselves? Everybody get nude. No, she goes, oh, I love this. There's beautiful floral arrangements and place cards for seating at an upper deck table with a chef waiting at a grill. And Garcelle, who's like bonding with Bose, and she's taking photos of Bose, she's like, yeah, mama. And Doute's like, oh, eating lunch? And Kathy to the grill chef goes, no lobster on the grill. I'm the chef. Maybe if you put it up there above the grill area. And she's correcting like the grilling chef. Like I didn't realize that Kathy Hilton was a grill master, but it does make sense. I mean, could you? That's another thing at that party last night. It would have been cool if Kathy was like, "Who wants Ryan? Do you want a dog? I'm grilling up some dogs, some Franks, and do you want cheese on your hamburgers?" Like that would be amazing to watch Kathy work a grill. Anyways, Kyle turns and walks away because she's probably not eating whatever they're serving. She's like, "I'm so embarrassed. Why is my sister telling the chef how to cook?" Kyle in a talking head says, "Kathy can be very bossy." And she pretends to be Kathy. She's like, "Do you have that on the right temperature? You know what you should do? You should add a little of the, what is it again? The salt?" Garcelle sits at the table and goes, "Kathy, were you telling him how to cook the food?" "Well, I was just telling him because I know how to barbecue. You know, you put it up there." And Kyle continues as Kathy in the talking head, "Don't leave it like that. You're not going to want to leave it like that." Kathy now reworking the floral arrangement on the lunch table and goes, "You know, this is looking like two eyes. I thought it was Kyle." It's two identical white flowers next to each other in a full bouquet of red flowers. "We need 5. We do. I do not like the way this looks." Kyle finishes the talking head and goes, "Next thing you know, she's going to be telling the captain how to drive the boat. It's going to be the new Gilligan's Island. I'm going to be stuck with these ladies for the rest of my life. Can you imagine that? God help me." The producers are like, "God, that'd be a great show. If we crashed this yacht somewhere," and just imagine like Sutton just trying to like, she's like, "Oh, I say, Captain Theo, we're the only 2 people. We might have to repopulate the human race now that we're lost. I'd like you to put a baby in me, Captain Theo. Come on." It's like Yellow Jackets with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ladies. Kathy's like, "Ladies, should we try to take our seats?" And Kyle's like, "Where's Doute and Erica?" And Garcelle's like, "I don't know." And Doute is down in the salon ordering a drink at the bar. "I'll do a Belvedere and club soda. 3 lemons. Keep the lemons out." She didn't say carcass. She just said, "Keep the lemons out. I'm trying to break myself out of saying carcass. Out. Seacrest out." Now above, Garcelle goes, "Doute probably doesn't want to sit with us." And Kyle goes, "Has she said hi to you yet?" And Garcelle's like, "No." "She hasn't said hi to you?" And Garcelle's like, "No." Flashback to a meeting in the hotel lobby, and Doute did not go up and give Garcelle a hug. Do we need to greet it's one of those things too. It's like we all know who's on the trip. Do we need greetings every time we see each other? I feel like one greeting a day will suffice. You know, like, "Oh, you're still here." Like, do you need it's the same thing with like, "Oh, you look beautiful." You know, like one a day will suffice. We don't need to do it every time. It's like when somebody continually sneezes, give them one "God bless you." You don't need a "God bless" every sneeze. You know, like you don't need to do it. I think there's a false misconception. Every sneeze, you got to do a "God bless you" one. But also, I don't like the people that don't do any. Have you ever done that? You sneeze and nobody says "bless you" or "God bless you"? Then you're just like, that's evil. That's evil. But one. Just need one good "bless you." I don't know how I got into that, but I don't have a lot of rules in life, but that's like one of them. Like just you got to give people a "bless you" if they sneeze. Even if it's in a separate room and, you know, you're like, you got to go "bless you." You got to do it. It's polite society, right? Like Sutton would, "Well, God bless you." I hear you sneezing from downstairs. God bless you. So we finally get to the eating scene, and the chef's like, "Hello, ladies. I'm Chef Alex Vasquez. I'm the chef at the rooftop bar at the Pacific Hotel. We're going to start off with a seasonal green salad." And Kathy's like, "My favorite." How do you have a favorite? That's wealth when you have a favorite salad. And I know some of you are like, "Oh, those Trader Joe's bag salads, those are my favorite." But you know what I'm saying? Like a seasonal green salad. Kathy's like, "My favorite. Wow. Oh, wow. Luxury." And the chef continues, "And we're going to follow them with an assortment of skewers, shrimp, chicken, and most of all, lobster." And Kyle's like, "Did everybody sleep well last night?" And Son's like, "Well, no. You know, when you get you get allergies, I got stopped up." Sutton, don't I know it, man? I am allergy king right now. And Kathy goes, "And I get like that too. And you've been talking a lot, you know?" And everybody laughs, and Kyle's like, "Ha ha, your throat must be so sore." And Sutton's like, "Well, speaking of sore throats." And I thought she was gonna like make a joke about the captain. You're like, "Well, I'd love to get a sore throat from hanging out with the captain of this ship." I say. But Kathy's like, the two of you, Kyle and Doute, that's what we're talking about. Sounds like Kyle and Doute. Y'all talked a lot of dinner last night. And Doute's like, yes. And Son's like, and so I'm just curious, how y'all feeling? And Doute's like, I feel like I needed to get things off my chest because it was building. And once you release it, you feel better. You got to get the poison out. And Garcelle's giving Doute the stink eye, which that's just Garcelle looking at Doute normally. And Doute goes, I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm hurt. I'm mad as hell. And I'm not going to take it anymore. It's from a deep, deep place of hurt. But I love you, Kyle. I don't hate you. Well, I appreciate that a lot. I do. This is where I get... And she starts choking up. Both of us are going through so much. And I'm somebody that if I care about somebody, it weighs on me really heavily. And I don't, you don't need to be thinking about this right now. I don't need to be thinking about this. We have really important stuff going on that we all need our energy for. And this is just stupid. You know, that the irony of it is that our husbands are closer than ever. And definitely leaning on one another. And they flash a photo of Mauricio and PK arms around each other from Mauricio's IG. Yeah, these dudes are like doing Eiffel Towers with each other. You know, like, hey, bro, it's single PK and single Mo leaning on each other and a couple of vixens. Am I right? And you and I, Kyle, are as far apart as we've ever been. So I am very open, and I'd like to close the gap. So I'm sorry. And I apologize once again for hurting your feelings in any way. And I know there are things that I can learn from this. Doute in a talking head. I feel like this is now Kyle and I turning a corner. And I do feel optimistic that we can potentially put the pieces of our friendship back together. Doute says, we've got more conversations to have, Kyle. But they don't all have to be toxic and tumultuous, you know? Yeah. And so we're like, okay, is that good? Are we good for the rest of the season? No. Doute continues in a talking head, but I remain cautiously optimistic. Kind of like, I'm not going to let this bitch, I've got this bitch Kyle's number. No. Doute learns. Doute lifts her glass in the scene. Cheers to that. And the ladies all lift their glasses. Garcelle is like, well, I want to go see what the bottom of the boat down there looks like. And Kyle's like, I'm going to get my phone and check on my children and see if Morgan texted. And Kathy, after they leave, Kathy's like, Jennifer, can you help me get some of this lobster out? Jennifer Tilly's like, no, like, what do you mean? Like, finger it out? And Jennifer's like, you got this. You got, the tools, the seafood tools. And Kathy's like, I have that, but I thought you would be able to do it better with your claws. I like Kathy. I use human beings. I use human beings as utensils. That's how rich I am. And Jennifer, I saw those nails. I'd love to watch you get my lobster out, my lobster meat with your hand, with Jennifer Tilly, Oscar-nominated Jennifer Tilly clawing out my lobster meat. And then maybe I could use your hands to brush my teeth with later. I thought you were Kyle. So Jennifer starts like digging the lobster meat. It's super fucking weird. And Kathy's like, oh, thank you. I knew you would come in handy. And Bose laughs along with it's eerie. Sutton stands up and says to Doute, well, do you want to go downstairs? And Doute's like, yes. I love how the group split up. It's the Grease effect I always talk about of like, tell me more, did he get very far? And then the guys are like, tell me more. I hear, you know what I'm saying. A-doo-da-bop-bop, a-doo-da-bop-bop. Meanwhile, down there part of the boat, Garcelle's like, oh, let's go in the front. The bow of the boat. That's the technical term for the front of a boat, folks. Kyle goes, oh, look at these cute towels. Hold on. And the towels have like a tiger in a hammock, tiger in a hammock. And Kyle's like, these are Hermes. No one else knows yet. Do they belong to the boat? And Garcelle goes, I don't know, but maybe it's a gift from Kathy. And Kyle's like, I was feeling they belong to the boat. Like, what? Just are you talking about taking them? I should have done that at Kathy's last night. I mean, I will say in the men's room, there was, like a tissue box thing. It was like a wood cover for a tissue box. And it had Kathy's initials. I was literally pissing looking at this thing. And I was like, could I take this? Like this would be, I mean, I couldn't have stuffed it anywhere because my pants are full from my huge dong. I'm joking. I'm very small, but you know what I'm saying? Like I was like it was pretty exciting to see like the stuff, the knickknacks Kathy. But I also think she kind of cleaned up and made sure not all the good stuff was out. But they had this claw machine, you guys, that you could like try to win like a bear, and it had like diamonds. Like it was one of those like game claws, but it like had like diamonds. It was super weird. Anyways, Garcelle goes, "How are you doing, Kyle?" "Well, I feel a lot better." "With the Doute of it all?" "Yeah, and I feel like we're going in the right direction." And Garcelle's like, "Yeah." Meanwhile, at the stern of the boat, that's the back of the boat, Sutton and Doute are sitting together, and Sutton's like, "Well, 'cause I've been thinking about you, Doute. What you going through is really hard, and I've been there, I say, and I want you to know that you can lean on me a little bit." And Doute's like, "I appreciate that." And, Doute's kind of sizing up Sutton. And, but at the same time, I think Doute is probably like, "I should have separated from PK many seasons ago. I would have been treated with respect. Finally." Sutton in a talking head goes, "Well, having been through my own separation and then divorced James was the same age as Jagger, Doute's son. So, it kind of throws me back to the time." In the scene, Doute's like, "I just feel like I have been stretched as thin as I can possibly be stretched. Not sexually, just with the emotions. And I've had a really, really difficult last couple of years." Sutton continues in a talking head, "Well, also, Doute has always declared her love for PK. And I'm not sure if there's this underlying serious tragedy in this love affair." And when that happens, sometimes you can't use your judgment properly. Yeah, with any kind of love, it makes us act like complete loons, right? You don't think logically when it comes to like the human heart. It's unfortunate. You just don't. Anyways, Doute in the scene goes, "So you and Christian separated first?" "Yeah, we got separated. He filed for divorce and then went into proceedings. It was 3 years." And Doute's like, "The whole process was 3 years? And I'm going to tell you." And Doute's like, "Well, I've got 3 seasons of the show and I've got 3 more seasons then." So it's like, "Well, I'm going to tell you. You have to think, gosh, how old am I? And is this what I want my life to look like?" And Doute's like, "I just want peace, Sutton." And Sutton's like, "Yeah." Now, remember, Sutton gets like $350,000 like a month, right? I don't think Doute would get any sort of settlement. Like, that's a nice consolation prize that Sutton reminds us of a lot. That monthly paycheck that she gets for, she helped this man, I'm sure, with his business in some way, so she deserves it, but it's a little different with Doute and PK. Now, at the bow of the ship, Garcelle is talking to Kyle, and she's like, "Well, I'm glad you and Doute at least are trying to work it out. I don't know, I just feel like it's all so hard. Everybody's going through something, like for me, I'm trying to figure out, like, me. I'm not going to cry." And she pauses and laughs. "My boys are getting ready to leave. And like, I know who I am career-wise. I know who I am as a mom, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what's next for me as a woman." And Kyle's like, "I so get that. Can I kiss you?" No, Garcelle's like, "It's just overwhelming sometimes." And she's wiping away tears. In a talking head, Garcelle says, "I'm at the point where I've accomplished a lot, but I'm trying to find what's the missing piece. Is it a partner? Is it not a partner? Is it just finding me when I'm not working or when I have the kids? I mean, I think that's what I'm trying to figure out." And Kyle's like, "That is scary when your kids leave, And Garcelle's like, "Yeah. It's like people say, well, that's not my whole life, and I'm more than just that. That actually was my whole identity. I mean, I'm a mom and a wife, so I totally understand that. And that's what I've been doing these last few years, is figuring out who I am without that. It's like, am I going to be alone like this? This scares me, the not knowing, And Garcelle's like, "Yeah." In a talking head, Kyle says, "The idea that maybe I could be alone, as an old person, scares me. I mean, wasn't I supposed to be off with my partner, traveling the world and having someone in my bed next to me until the day I die? That's been the scariest part of this whole process, is just not knowing. What does that end look like? Am I going to wind up living with Freddie Mellencamp? God forbid." Garcelle says in the scene, "Well, it's just a different time in our lives, and I think we're all just figuring it out." Now, at the stern of the boat, Dorit's like, "I mean, Sutton, I've never ever been or felt more alone." So we're having very similar conversations. If we could just bridge the gap. And Sutton's like, "Mm-hmm." And Dorit's like, "More vulnerable, more lonely." Dorit in a talking head says, "Sutton and I have never really forged a close friendship. We flash back to 2020 scene when Doute says, she said, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. And Sutton's crying, well, I'm not gonna fucking play this game with you. I swear to God, shut up. And that was when Lisa Rinna's mom was there during that scene. I remember, and then in 2023 at Crystal's Taco Tuesday party, Doute saying, first of all, are you gonna... Well, why'd you bring it up, Doute? Stop asking the same question and not waiting for an answer. Well, answer it. Name them and answer it. Doute continues in a talking head, I feel really grateful and appreciative for the wave of support from someone that I wouldn't have expected it from. Sutton in the scene goes, well, I don't know if you're going to get divorced, Doute, but if that's the road that happens, girl, I'm going to sit in that room with you. I say, I'm going to do it. And Doute smiles and tries, can I have some money? No, I just said I'm going to sit with you. And Sutton was like, I will. And then all of a sudden a sea lion barks, And Sutton's like, well, he agrees. That little sea lion agrees. Back at the bow of the ship, Garcelle goes, how's Mo? And Kyle's like, he's good. He came over for Mother's Day and went to the market and cooked. It was really nice. Well, it was interesting. She said that Mo and PK are so connected, and that's odd. That it's ironic that they are and you guys aren't at the moment. And Kyle's like, yeah, well, how about that PK reaches out to me? And Garcelle goes, what? He does? Oh, yeah. And Garcelle goes, wow. In a talking head, Garcelle, eyes wide, goes, holy shit. Hey, it's me, PK, texting you. I found a funny meme. Check this out, Kyle. Good night, bud. I said this last week. I said, it's fun and games right now, but then late at night one time you get like a weird, like something weird look like a Franken beans, and you find out PK sent a dick pic. It's weird, right? We return to the upper deck. No, sorry. Meanwhile, Doute at the stern is like, I'm protective of myself right now and who I trust. But see, this is going to be the next big fight. It's going to come out that PK is texting Kyle, and Doute's going to lose her fucking mind. We return to the upper deck lunch table where Jennifer has scooped out all of the innards of a couple of lobsters for Kathy. Feed me with your claws, Jennifer Tilly, please. Jennifer's like, so are we going to meet your man, Bose? What's his name again? And Bose is like, Keely. How did y'all meet? And Bose is like, well, we met through his nephew. And when his nephew first suggested it, I was like, do I look like I date people's uncles? Bose in a talking head says, oh, Keely, that is my man. They show a photo of Bose and her man. Very handsome dude, right? Bose continues, we have been dating for 8 months. He is very kind. He's successful. He's generous. And he is fine as hell. Kathy goes, well, let me ask you, when you first went through what you went through, which is, and Bose is like, yeah, I think with my ex's death, I became more focused on myself, on my career, on my child. Bose in a talking head says, since my husband died, dating for me has not been easy at all. I mean, I think men are intimidated by my success, maybe my height, maybe by my kids. I don't know what the problem is, but it's been really, really tough. I want to stop right here just for good. I'm retiring. No, I want to stop to say, isn't it funny that we're all talking about, all these ladies are talking about the same issues and the wealth of information they have between all of them, all joking aside. They've all gone through some sort of divorce. They've all gone through relationships busting up. And, like we're having these separate conversations, but my God, wouldn't it be great to have a big communal conversation, like a round table discussion where I feel like these women can all lean on each other in a very real way. We have Bose, whose husband died, the love of her life, talking about dating again. Garcelle talking about like the kids leaving and does she need a partner? Kyle trying to figure out if she's going to be alone. Doute dealing with the separation of PK. Sutton dealing with divorce from the past and having a huge crush on the yacht captain. I mean, they've all gone through something. It's a common thread. Like we talk about the insanity of these little moments, but these common threads are what really gives the show resonance. I always say that you got to have these moments. You got to have these things where like, shit, these ladies really have been through shit, right? Erica Jane obviously been through, like mine ended up in court. Yeah, real bad. So Bose at the table says, well, in this now new relationship, there are certain things that I am tuned in on that I'm looking out for because I'm like, I was completely lied to and completely fooled. And she's talking about another guy, and Bo's in a talking head says, it's hard to describe the man I was dating before Keely. A whole liar. A con artist? Oh, Lord. And Eric is like, how'd you find out? And Bo's is like, girl, my simple question was if he was still sleeping with his ex, and that man turned to me and said yes. Was that a liar if he told you the truth? He told you the truth? Might not like the answer. Anyway, Jennifer's like, yeah, I dated this con artist for a year. And Eric is like, oh, did you? Eric is like, was it me? Did you date me? Jennifer's like, when you're honest, you don't understand why somebody would be making all these lies. So he said he's going to be in Vanity Fair, and there's going to be a billboard on Sunset Boulevard with his face on it. And he actually was fairly successful interior designer. But you know, it's like he was a grifter, and we'd go out to restaurants, and I would hand him my credit card under the table so he could pretend like he was paying for dinner. And Bose is like, oh, come on. See, I just don't understand that behavior, honestly. Can somebody explain that to me? And Eric's like, no, that's called man. That's called man. That's why I'm doing I'm Uncle Jay. I understand the man game, yeah. You won't pay me. You aren't going to con me. You can't con a conner. Bose is like, well, because I think I told you. Yeah, no, girl. And Jennifer's like, here comes Doute. Sutton, Kyle, and Garcelle follow. And Erica's like, what's our schedule tonight? And Kathy's like, well, we're going to go back to the hotel. I want everybody to put their feet up for a little bit and get ready for tonight. I want Sutton to take care of her neuropathy. And Doute's like, okay. And Kathy's like, should we start to head down? The boat is docking, just like Sutton wants the captain to dock inside of her. And they're debarking. Jennifer Tilly's like, oh my gosh, I had such a good time. And Sutton whispers to Doute, well, his captain, he's cute. If you would just give him my number, man. I did you a solid on the bow of that boat, telling you I'd take care of you. Now you take care of me, Doute. You slip that man my digits. And you say, you give him a little drawing of my hourglass figure. Say, I want to show this captain my bits and pieces. I say. And Doute reaches for something to write on. She's like, this is cheesy. And Sutton's like, don't worry. I do it all the time. Don't worry. Just do it. Kathy's down below saying her goodbyes to the captain. Thank you very much. And give Sutton a little help because her leg's bad, Captain. Maybe you could carry her down. It's kind of a thing we do. And suddenly we see Captain Theo grab Sutton and he swoops her in his arms and she wildly orgasms. No, she orgasms. And Doute's like, I'll have what she's having. No, and he takes her down the stairs and Sutton's smiling real big. And then Kathy chuckles, I'm always up to no good. I'm trying to get my friends fucked. Anyway, Sutton's like, thank you. And Erica's like, aren't you single? She was interested. And Doute comes up from behind. Captain, this is from Sutton. It's just a check. No, it's their number. And Captain Theo takes the paper and pen and goes, oh, thank you. And he laughs. He's a little embarrassed. And Doute whispers, give her a call. And Captain Theo leans down to Sutton. Nice to meet you. And Sutton demurely doesn't look up. Well, nice to meet you too. I say, nice to meet you. Sutton, the talking head, goes, well, it's awfully nice to be up in Theo's arms. I wish I had Theo's arms. I wish I had Theo's arms. I want to love like Theo loves me. They flash us a still shot of Captain Theo holding Sutton up like a baby. And Sutton gives a salute. Ahoy, Captain. Ahoy. Doute and Sutton are walking up the docks, and Doute's like, turn around and look. Is he there? And Sutton stops and looks, and she's like, no, stop it. Just stop it. You're embarrassing me. So back at the hotel, the sun is beginning to set, and we're going to do our round robin of getting ready. That's those shots that we go to each housewives' rooms as they're getting their glam. And Erica, to her stylist, is like, this is our last night. This will be nice. I'm going to have a cocktail. I'm going a little drinky poo. And Kyle doing her own makeup. Look at that. She's roughing it. Jennifer Tilly putting on her finishing touches. And then the momentum fully stops at Sutton. And she's unsuccessfully trying to get her decongestant sprayer to work. Sutton, I have been there. I have all this sinus spray and decongestant. And they say I have such a blockage that the sprays don't even work anymore. And so I'm like, where does just all the shit I'm spraying in my nose, where does it go? Does it just like barricade up? Anyways, Sutton's like, oh no, there's no more left of my decongestant spray. Come on. Doute is getting glammed with her hair, makeup, and stylist. Is everyone looking forward to dinner? And Dorit's like, we had a good day. Kyle and I kind of had it out. We kind of broke the ice, and it's given us room to now try to just take it slow, heal, and, things are good. Woo-hoo. Now, in Kathy's room, we see towels that has Doogie personalized on them, which is her nickname for Kyle, right? And then Kathy is laying on the bed in her robe with an electric fan about 8 inches from her face. Remember, Kathy loves a fan, and Kyle's standing over her, and Kathy's like, Kyle, can you put some makeup on me? Like, treat me like I'm a corpse, Kyle, and you need to have me for an open casket funeral. Try it like that. And Kyle's like, I'll just do it lightly, okay? She puts some lip gloss on Kathy, and Kathy's like, now which one is that? What is that color? Kyle walks away. I don't know. I have to get ready. And Kathy lays there with her eyes closed, holding the fan on her face. Amazing. Just fucking amazing. Dude, what was so great, Rick Hilton, Kathy's husband, came down at 11 o'clock at night last night to the party when everything was closing up. And he was in his jammies and a baseball hat. And I just love that he was just kind of stumbling around his own house. What's going on here? What? He just looked real confused. Sutton is getting glammed and she's writing something on paper. And her stylist asks, are you going to give a little speech? And Sutton's like, well, okay, I think that's enough. And we see 2 pages of handwritten notes in a book. It looks like Sutton's journal. Could you imagine? Dear Diary, today I met Captain Theo. I felt tinglies in my private regions. I say, I haven't felt like that since I saw the sequel to Magic Muck at AMC theaters. Like when I saw Twilight for the first time. I saw that pale vampire, that Robert Patman. And I saw him, I just felt that tingling sensation, Diary. But today I felt it with Captain Theo. You should have heard his voice. I say it was like butter. Anyways, the stylist is like, that's the speech for dinner? That's a long speech. And Sutton's like, it's really not. And Silas is like, well, you're very long-winded. And she laughs. And, the Sutton's employees are like family to her. Sutton in a talking head goes, well, after watching this vicious fight between Kyle and Doute, and then talking to Doute on the boat, I think it's time for all of us to come together and feel supported, especially Doute. I like Sutton really pulling for Doute here. I think that's nice. But I also like that this speech is potentially 7 years ago. It's like the Gettysburg Address. I'm going to give a very important speech. I'm going to write about this in the history books one day. The women are all dressed for dinner. They're going downstairs to the bar to gather. They order drinks. They talk about how, everybody looks sexy. The maitre d' comes to escort them to their table at the rooftop bar. It's outside seating, all these long tables embellished with lots of roses down the center. It's situated next to a pool, and everyone's been helping taking pictures of bows all day, and Kyle takes another one of hers so she can send it to her man. And Kyle's like, you say send that to my man, like who, how? And she turns to Kathy, do you send nude pictures to Rick when you're away? And Erica's like, hell yeah. I mean, not Rick. So Erica's had her one drink, obviously. And Kathy goes, no, I do not do that. Well, we have a couple in a safe. And all the ladies are like, ooh. And Kathy goes, at the bank. So Kathy is saying she has a bunch of fucking nudes at Wells Fargo or wherever the rich people bank at. They're not at her house, but God, could you imagine? Kyle's like, hi. Kathy's like, hi. I'm just here to use my safety deposit box. I've got something I need to deposit in it. And it's all like Kathy's beaver and weird shit. Shots of Rick's dick. Somewhere at the bank, there's just wild porn shots of Kathy Hill. Kathy spreading. And then Rick, he goes to check in on him once a year, for his birthday. Rick, I'll give you the key to the safety deposit box so you can go check out our special photos. Anyways, Kyle in a talking head goes, who puts their nude photos in a vault in a bank? Where do you put them, Kyle? You shouldn't be keeping them at home. You get your house broken into all the time. And also, Freddie Mellencamp's living there, too. She's going to take those. You got to put them in the bank like your sister, or ask to put it in with your sister's nude photos or something, like family nude safety deposit box. Garcelle in a talking head laughing says, I mean, that's Kathy Hilton in her glory. And Kyle in a talking head's like, I always picture Kathy naked with fuzzy socks and a hat on. Don't yuck somebody's yum, Kyle. Whatever gets you freaky, whatever floats your boat. Come on, that's amazing. If Kyle, yeah, fuck Kathy Hilton with fuzzy socks and everything else. All the bits, that's hot, man. Shots of Rick with just thigh-high socks on. Hell yeah. Erica in a talking head goes, ew. Shut up, Erica. Kathy in the scene goes, Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, they have those beds with the big mirror above. And Erica's like, I love that. And Doute's like, TMI. And Kathy goes, seriously, it's so sexy. And Bose is like, Arriba, arriba. Rick, look above us. That's us in the mirror. Look how sexy our bodies look intertwined. I love how pale our skins are. Rick, get out the Nikon. I feel like I feel beautiful and sexy right now, Rick. Please take photos of me in the Caesar's Palace. One night in Kathy. Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, it's been a long day. The food starts to arrive, and Jennifer she goes, well, you have panzanella salad. Panzanella salad. My favorite type of salad. Once again, how do we fucking have favorite types of salad? I was like, I like the salad with the lettuce. The chef comes to explain their meal and walks them through. You know, you got the panzanella. I don't think I'm saying that right. Heirloom tomatoes, cucumber, red radish. And the entree is going to be seared chicken breast served with chanterelle mushrooms, fava beans, and then a beurre blanc. And Kathy asks Garcelle, you're looking so svelte, Garcelle. It's like you're not looking at the food anymore. Are you in love? What the fuck does that mean? You're not pigging out like you were last season, Garcelle. What the fuck? And Garcelle goes, I'm in love with life, Kathy. And Sutton's like, well, she has no man. And Garcelle goes, damn. And Kathy goes, well, you have to act helpless like she does, meaning Sutton. You got to act like her. Act like you got neuropathy and you're all stuffed up constantly. Come on. Garcelle in a talking head says, I would rather be alone than be on a date wearing a kitty sweater and talking about my neuropathy like you do, girl. Like you do, you, girl. And we get a photo flashback of Sutton on her date from a couple of seasons ago with the kitty sweater. Was that last season or 2 seasons ago when she wore that kitty sweater with what was his name? What was that dude? He was like, he seemed like a nice guy. Anyways, more food. Sutton has weird tastes in dudes, though, right? Like, you can't peg her down. Like, it's very interesting. Anyways, more food's getting served, and Garcelle loudly goes, Doute, I have a question. Yes? You reposted something Teddy wrote. And Garcelle, I'm like, Garcelle, you're invoking the name of Freddie Mellencamp? Who put you up? Why? We're trying to eat. Everybody's trying to digest their food. What are you doing? And Kathy goes, what happened? And Doute goes, Teddy tagged me on a post promoting her dad's concert. Who's Teddy's dad? Is he like is he a singer of some, like who's Teddy's dad? I'm joking. It's John Mellencamp. A little story about Teddy and Kyle. Anyways, so now we're about to have an argument about Instagram, which is always great. And Bose is like, what? Today? And Kathy goes, I don't follow Teddy. I don't know. Kathy, I don't even know her. Kyle's annoying friend? And Kyle goes, no, it's a video of us all singing on stage with her dad. And we flash back to 2 hours earlier, and Garcelle says she reposts Teddy Mellencamp's post with them in it. And Sutton's like, well, Doute can be very contradictory. I don't think she understands who she is anymore. Doute's got to do some soul searching. And they show Doute's Instagram post showing the concert video, them on stage singing with the legend that is Johnny Cougar Mellencamp. And Doute says, she tagged me just like I would ordinarily. I reposted it. And Garcelle's like, well, when we had just talked about it earlier and you said you weren't friends with Freddie. And Garcelle in a talking head says, I want to call out Doute because it's such a hypocritical move. All of a sudden, she wants to help Teddy's dad. I mean, God, I can't, I gotta say, man, I can't go there with Garcelle on this one. Like, listen, like just because Doute, if you get tagged in something with Johnny Mellencamp, you gotta repost it. Like, because it also makes you look cool because you're kind of on stage with John Mellencamp, right? It's like I'm supporting John Mellencamp. I'm not supporting necessarily Freddie Mellencamp. She's not reposting like 2 T's in a pod material. She's posting John Mellencamp. Like, I'm sorry, if I had somebody that I disliked in a photo, but I was also in it with John Mellencamp, I think I would post it. I think I would you know what I'm saying? I think this is just, it's grasping at straws a little bit. And Doute in the scene goes, I didn't say I wasn't friends with her. I said I'm not that close to her. We flash back to Kyle the previous night at dinner. And Kyle's like, excuse me, we're all close to her. And Doute goes, I'm not close with her. And Kyle's like, oh, now you're not? Now you're not. I'm not close with her. Her and I are friends. We're not close. Kyle's like, oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Is it interesting? Like, I'm sorry, we're all different types of friends and different closeness. Like the fact that like we're like these ladies are in their 50s arguing about the clay. It's such a bummer because you realize that we never truly get out of high school. We never, like, I still worry about the same shit I worried about in high school. I still get my panties in a bunch about stupid shit. Like, oh, does this person like me? Did I not get invited here? It's like the same bullshit. We have to do this until the day we die. It's just worry about the same old bullshit. Alien drones, take us away already. Doute says, I said she's absolutely my friend. I don't think she would characterize our friendship as close. I said I don't think we're super close, but I was surprised that she tagged me. I saw it was to promote her father, and I'm happy to promote her father's concert, so I reposted it. Erica whispers to Kyle, no, I don't think she said that. I don't think that's what she said last night. Kyle in a talking head goes, do we really think the Grammy winner Rock and Roll Hall of Famer John Mellencamp needs Doute support on Instagram? I don't think so. Yeah, of course not. But it's also cool to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyways. The servers begin clearing the table, and Son's like, well, hang on. I have something for us to do. You know, we need to be able to stand and do this. And I was like, oh my God, are they all going to fuck? And she stands up and all the other ladies follow. And Son's like, oh, all right. So, I wrote this down because y'all know I'm terrible at speaking impromptu, you know? And she gets her phone and she's reading. She's like, well, so last year in Spain, it meant a lot to me when we did our ceremonial letting things go bit. And they flash back to that Merce blowing back all over them, the ashes. And Sutton goes on. She's like, and this really come from my heart. And she pauses from emotion. And Kyle starts to laugh. And the ladies make fun of her. And Erica's like, how much did you write? And Bose is like, it comes from her heart, but she can't remember it. And Kyle's like, this comes from my heart. What does this say right here? And Erica's like, how do I feel about you? And Son's like, no. Well, I'm going to say this. I really mean what I wrote, and I thought about it, and I want you to think about it too, I say. And she continues reading, trust and honesty comes to mind as the backbone of real friendships and sisterhood. Friendships are not perfect. There are many ups and downs and twists and turns, little lefts and rights, but we are all in this together. In sisterhood the traveling pants. And Kyle keeps giving like these faces, trying not to laugh. Eric in a talking head goes, I'm sorry, are we in cheer camp? Are we in Browning camp? Girls camp? Is this a fucking Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? What the fuck is this? Sutton continues reading, well, let us join our palms together in solidarity of friendship. And Bose is like, oh, we're putting our hands in the center. Okay. Bose in a talking head says, I don't know what kind of incantation Sutton is saying under her breath to tie us together. Shoot, I might be Mrs. Sutton at this point. I don't want to be Mrs. Sutton, though. And Sutton reads on, true, solid friendships, always. And Doute adds, stand the test of time. Let me finish this. Stand the test of time. Sutton pulls out a wide, long blue rib. I was waiting for like a fucking knife. Yeah, we're all going to cut ourselves. We'll rub our blood together. We're going to be blood sisters from this point on. I'm serious. We're going to intermingle our blood, right? Come on, let's do this. Sutton continues, I really want this to be our year. That we really bond in friendship, right? All right like this. And she puts her arm out with her hand towards the center of the table, and the other ladies follow suit. And Sutton takes this ribbon and begins weaving it around their hands. And, we're gonna tie this together. And Drina, the talking head, goes, I really hope that this ribbon does what Sutton's intending for it to do. And if not, I hope I can save it in case I need to strangle one of these ladies at some point. Sutton looking around at each woman there and says, well, so in truce, we are now sisters forever. Unless one of you guys get kicked off next season and then you're out. Fox Force 5, fuck you. It's the next month, so we do this whole ceremony. It's like, it's wild, right? That was pretty Woohoo! But I loved it. I loved that Sutton was like, what would be good for the scene here? What if I wrote a 2-page speech about sisterhood, and then I took a big old fancy blue ribbon and I tied all the phalanges together, right? Just intermingled everybody and just did a Chinese knot on them or something. You know what? Wouldn't that be special? This old, and then people be like, oh, Sutton, look at her, really stepping up this season, trying to bring the sisterhood together. You know, I think that would be nice, yeah. Avi, you think that'd be nice? I do, Sutton, I do. Well, okay, that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to jot down some notes on my iPhone, and yeah, what else could we do? Do you think we should play Russian roulette, Avi? You think everybody be down here and it's a way to bond each other, near-death experiences, Avi. You think we should do that? No, Sutton, I don't. Well, Avi, you can go blow yourself, because I think there's a grand idea. Kathy's like, no, I played Russian roulette last year with Rick. He almost blew his head off. So Sutton's put some kind of weird spell on these ladies with this whole ribbon thing. Next morning, we're packing up to leave, and Jennifer Tilly's like, how am I going to get all of this stuff in the suitcase? Too many presents. They all finish getting loaded up into the Sprinter van. Yeah, for Sprinter vans. And it's waiting in front of the hotel, and they all seem out of breath and frazzled, and Sutton pulls out her vodka and pours a slug into her orange juice. Sutton lives by the sword, dies by the sword, and Kyle's like, my God, I'm ready to start drinking again. The Sprinter van takes off, and Sutton's like, y'all, I gotta tell you all something. I really did not sleep that well last night, and I really didn't like that we kind of mocked my ritual thing. I thought you didn't sleep because I was having fantasies about that captain from the boat. No, but she didn't like that she was being mocked, and Garcelle's like, we didn't know you were serious. And Jennifer's like, I like the ritual. And Sutton's like, well, really, the point that I wanted to make, we can have disagreements and be truthful with one another, I'll say. And Reed's like, if you're honest and open. And Sutton's like, okay, well, so let's talk about being honest and open. Let's do it. Well, that was a moment when you, Erica, you kind of whispered something to your little friend, Kyle. We flash back to last night. Garcelle says, you reposted something Teddy wrote and you said you weren't friends with her. And Doute says, I said she's absolutely my friend, blah, 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 blah. And Erica's whispering to Kyle, I didn't think she said that. No, I don't think that's what she said last night. Sutton in there talking head says, Erica's talking behind Doute's back to Kyle in this stage whisper. I feel very awkward being in a group of friends who are going to talk about you behind your back. But they talk about you behind your back so everybody else can hear. I say, it's like Mean Girls. It's not nice. It is not nice. But this literally, once again, these are not the rules of the show, but this is what the show always is. It's fucking snarky, talking behind people's backs, talking shit on talking heads. It's a lot of this stuff. Sutton in the van to Erica goes, you said it quietly. Erica's getting upset at being called out. It's like, well, you thought it. And Sutton's like, well, you said it louder. And Doute's like, I just want to clarify this. I don't remember exactly what I said, because I was dealing with Kyle, and I remember saying that I consider Teddy a friend. I wouldn't categorize us as a close friendship. We repeat the scene again. Kyle's like, excuse me, we're all close with her. I'm not close with her. Oh, now you're not? Her and I are friends. We're not close. Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. Kyle, did we need that repeat? Why don't we just go ahead and repeat the BravoCon clip again? Kyle in the van says, but it's not about Teddy. It never is. It wasn't about her. It's more about, it is about her, Kyle. And Sutton's like, no, it's not. And Doute's like, it is to me. And Erica's like, it's about my offhand comment to Kyle. And Garcelle in a talking head says, Doute doesn't get that it's not about Teddy. It's about that we should be able to call each other out, work through it, and move on. And she cups her hands around her mouth. It's not about Teddy, although Teddy will be thrilled. I love it. It's not about Teddy. It'll never be about Teddy. Suddenly, Sutton begins to yell something. And Doute yells back, Sutton, I was the one explaining to you. I know exactly what this is about. Kyle elbows Bose and looks at Doute like she's nothing more than like a crazy biatch. And Sutton's like, ma'am, don't you yell at me like that. You know who you're talking to? You're talking to Sutton's Rack. I own 2 minor league baseball teams. I'm on the board of a ballet company. You will not talk to me like that. And Doute's like, you're the one that started yelling. You're the one that just started yelling. No, I did not. I tried to bring this group together last night with my bow and my speech. And Doute goes, and you did. Well, yeah, but what? I don't feel like I'm getting my point across. And this is what I'm saying. I felt that I need to really hit it home. Now, Kathy, disassociating in her head, thinking about her sexy boudoir photographs at Caesar's Palace, she's laughing. She's like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in this group anymore. Doute in a talking head goes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. When I say you never know which Sutton is going to show up. This is a very different woman to the woman on the boat who wanted to be there for me. Different mode of transportation. Different woman. Garcelle goes, okay, you guys, so I think the whole thing is that we should be able to say anything in front of everybody and know that it may be received well and may not be received well, but we're going to be open and honest. And Bose is like, it's a safe space. And Doute goes, okay, if we're being open and honest, I just tooted. No, she goes, if we're going to be open and honest, it's a pattern where you... And she turns to Sutton, and Sutton throws her hands up. Nope, I'm sorry, nope. And Doute goes, if I don't match your tone, oh my God, don't yell at me. Sutton's like, no, I'm not. And Doute's like, it's getting very old. This is like, don't fuck with me, Doute. You want a little taste of what I gave Kyle, Sutton? Do you want a little taste? Yeah, the gloves are off, bitch. And Sutton's like, well, I'm sorry that I'm annoyed at you. I was not the one that was backpedaling, creating the chaos. Now you're acting like a child, like my little jagaloo. And Bose is like, well, let's get on the plane. And Kyle's like, get me home. And Sutton to Doute's like, go. They get out of the van and into the private jet, which, by the way, we didn't see them fly there, but we didn't see their private jet flight there. Do you think they just magically appear? Do you think they have some sort of technology like those alien drones I keep seeing? Anyways, Sutton is packing up her stuff to go, and she's like, I'm not happy. I'm not a happy Sutton right now. And Kyle makes a face and looks around for approval. Am I right? Right? Next time on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And Kyle's like, ready for another party at my house? Kyle in a talking head, oh my God, cowgirl Barbie. And Kyle's riding this bucking bronco mechanical bull with her breastises falling out. This one's for you, Morgan. And then we go to a party and Garcelle says to Sutton, Kyle told me PK texts her. And Sutton's shot like, oh my Lord. And then Sutton to Doute has a scene goes, well, you're not angry at me. You're angry at your life. And then Camille Grammer is there. Camille Grammer. Wow. Camille's like, you've always been condescending to me. We don't know who she says that to. And then we have a scene of Doute going, honey, you're a total cunt to me. We don't know who she's saying that to. And Garcelle's like, damn. So that is the end of this week's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I do want to say, while I was recording this, we got breaking news. Selena Gomez got engaged to Benny Blanco after a year of dating. What a week for Selena Gomez. She got nominated for 2 Golden Globe nominations, and now she is engaged. They look very happy. That's very good for Selena Gomez, good for Benny Blanco. That's really nice, and especially around the holidays, they're going to have they're both rich and young and in love. You know what? Fuck them now that I think about it. But no, that's actually, it's very nice. It really is. I say, no, it really is truly nice. As we close the show, I want to go over some news stories surrounding Beverly Hills. A couple of things from this episode, actually. Now, this is an article from Decider.com. And this was the headline of the article. Sutton Stracke was thirsting after Captain Theo, but did he ever text her back? Sutton answers. And they do this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show on Peacock, where the ladies talk about the episodes. And Sutton said, well, Doute didn't just give my number. She wrote like an essay. He did text me, but I have very sad news. He has a girlfriend, it was devastating, but I won't find another captain. Those are direct quotes from Sutton Stracke. So bad news. He had a girlfriend, but he did text her. And now I need that. Captain Theo, if you're listening, I need that slip of paper for my reality show museum. I love that Doute, even writing down Sutton's number, she is potentially long-winded. I mean, that is truly incredible. Who is Jennifer Tilly dating, by the way? Are we going to find that at all? God, I'm so curious. Anyways, the article says on the boat, you and Doute shared a really nice moment. Were you shocked when she kind of snapped back at you in the Sprinter van at the end of the episode because it seemed like you brought up what Erica said because you were defending Doute? And Sutton's like, well, thank you for noticing that. That's what I was trying to do. I think at that moment, Doute was having very selective hearing. She was just snapping at anything that she could hear. And so I think there was miscommunication there, which, I'm sorry for. But yeah, she snapped pretty quickly. She was on edge. I think it's a very tense time for Doute. So, there we go. The interview says, I really love to see you and Kyle Richards getting along. It really does seem like a sisterly friendship. As we see in the trailer, you told Kyle that she needs to file for divorce. Why do you think she hasn't, and why do you think now is the time? Well, I can't answer for Kyle. I don't know why. I think divorce is hard. I think giving up on that dream family life that I think she lived for a very long time is probably just hard to let go. I can't speak for her. Before we move on from them, do you think there's a double standard with Kyle and Doute? And do you think Doute's apology to Kyle in tonight's episode was genuine? And Sutton just like that argument was very intense. Just to get an apology, I would have taken the apology and ran with it and left the dinner table and said, thank you for the apology, because I would have wanted the argument to stop. I have apologized to these ladies over and over and over until it finally gets through, or I say it the right way. So I think we all apologize a number of times until the other person believes you. They ask, Erica recently said in an interview that she would like to see you and Garcelle reveal your lives, but she must have forgotten that you literally brought a camera on a first date with you and that you also shared a lot about your own experience with the divorce. What's your response to that? And Sutton says, well, I think that I've given a lot of my life up. I've talked about my dad's suicide openly, and actually for the first time ever. I brought it up with Erica for the first time with a friend, really, and then to bring it to the audience and to join NAMI as an ambassador to help awareness of suicide survivors. So that's a big deal for me to expose that part of my life. I don't know how much deeper I can go. I can't film with my children, or I couldn't until they were 18, so I can't do anything about that. My dating life has been repeatedly shown. The kitty cat sweater has been ridiculed. So I don't know. It didn't bother me. I know that what I do is real, and I can only be my authentic self, and I think it's enough for the audience. I think this season, we see a lot more of my private life that I give up. So, okay. I don't know. No, this is Jennifer Tilly is such an amazing addition to the show, and I know you've been putting that into the universe for years now. How did you finally convince her to join the show as part of the cast? She says, I don't know if I convinced her because I've been begging her to do it, but I think it was the right time for her. The Chucky series had come to an end, and hopefully it's going to get picked up somewhere because it's so great. So I think it was just the right time, and she loves the show, and it's just been great to have her on for me personally because I'm so selfish. I liked having her with me as a friend and just getting to spend all that time with her. She actually said to me, Sutton, I don't know how you've been doing this. It's so hard. It's harder than television. And I spent 2 weeks with her on the set of Chucky, and I was like, how do you do this? Because the days are so long, it goes until 2 a.m. I'm like, when do we get to go home? And she was like, we don't. To see both parts with her has been really special for me, both on scripted and on unscripted television. I love her. She's great. She can do no wrong. She's wonderful. It's just more, there's a question about Kathy with her nudes locked in the safe. And are there any other things about Kathy that we'd be surprised to hear? And Sutton's like, well, I don't think so. Kathy she relaxes on camera. She doesn't care. And she's just really herself. I spent a lot of time with Kathy. She came to my house in Augusta for the Masters tournament. And so I got to really live with her there. And she's totally herself. Even then, with all my friends in Augusta, she's just herself. She has no pretense. She's lovely to be with. Come on, I want to know more about the nudes. Anyways, they asked Sutton, for only 4 episodes in, what is something you're hoping to address at the reunion? And she said, well, we don't know what's happened. We don't know how it's all put together. They take 100 hours and turn it into 18 episodes. So we'll see. It's always interesting to see what the women are saying behind your back in their confessionals or in lunch with someone else. It's always sort of like, I can't believe you said that about me. And that's where I think the discourse comes in at the reunion. What else can you tease about the rest of the season? She says, there are a few moments that I will not want to probably see. I can sometimes be a little terse and get my foot in my mouth and then it doesn't come out for a while. But yeah, there's a couple of those. I think there's so many fun moments this season. I'm really looking forward to, we go to Augusta. I take Garcelle and Kyle with me, and that's going to be a really, really special part of the season for me. We see my mother. Oh, good. Sutton's mother's back, and go to my house. I love Augusta so much, so I'm really looking forward to that one. So that was an article with Sutton from Decider. We also had Sutton Strack addressing Doute Kelmsley, criticizing Sutton's plastic surgery, and she was clearing the air because Sutton said to Us Weekly, when I said that about Doute, I was playing a game on MTV, so I was just supposed to be funny and stupid. There's no doubt that Doute is gorgeous, and I didn't mean to be hurtful. This was a game they played for MTV UK, and Sutton decided, took a shot at her Beverly Hills co-star. Sutton held up a photo of Doute so Lisa could give out some clues, and Lisa responded that the mystery person holds grudges and lives way above her means, and Sutton guessed Doute and confessed that they still had unresolved issues at the time, and said, I don't think she ever let the mouse go. That lady can't get a hint. And Barlow decided to compliment Doute and noted she's pretty. And Sutton said, well, when you have enough surgery, anybody can be pretty. And then Doute fired back to Page 6 in an interview saying, why hasn't Sutton done plastic surgery then? She has the money, right? She can afford plastic surgery. So why hasn't she done it if it's that easy? I'm just curious. Wow. Wow. And Doute said about her plastic surgery, she said she's only done a breast augmentation. I stand here today, hand on my heart, promise you, I would happily tell you if I did anything other than my boobs, and I have not. Come on, she did the nose. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She did her nose. Are we losing our minds here? Garcelle did an interview with Us Weekly saying that Teddy would be thrilled with how much she's being brought up on the show. She's right. I bet Teddy loves when she's brought up on the show. I thought that was a funny little thing about Teddy. Garcelle said, Doute doesn't get that it's not about Teddy. It's about that we should be able to call each other out, work through it, and move on. It's not about Teddy, although Teddy will be thrilled. That was a great little moment. Teddy Mellencamp defends Kyle Richards amid Doute Kemsley drama. And this is an article saying that on the Two T's in a Pod, the Schwartz pod, Tamara said to Teddy, you don't think that Kyle's downplaying her friendship with Doute? And, because Kyle was saying earlier in the season they weren't that great of friends on the Amazon Live. And, I'm trying to find this. Sorry, guys. Teddy said, Doute just likes, ripping down cigs, and Kyle's all into working out. Like, things are a little different where they are in their life right now, Teddy stated. Different lifestyles, but instead they're fighting over it, Tamara said. And then you have the guys, PK and Mauricio, like broing it out, so they just don't like each other. And Teddy disagreed with Tamara's view, saying, I think they must like each other because they keep filming the same show together. And when was Doute ever really there for Kyle, Teddy said. You would think of all the times last year when Doute would have been there for her, and instead she showed the fucking text messages. She's referencing those text messages to Erica. And Tamara's like, yeah, I don't like that. that's what I would have led with. So Teddy really standing up for Kyle, saying, yeah, where was Doute? Where was Doute? Why wasn't Doute being a good friend last year during this whole time? And then I talked about this earlier in the show, but Daily Mail, it says, Lisa Rinna grabs breakfast with Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade amid latest Real Housewives of Beverly Hills feuds. And it says, Lisa Rinna and her husband, so Harry was there as Bolognese. So Harry, Lisa, Morgan, and Kyle, nice little double date. I always forget that Morgan Wade is only 29 years old. Holy bull. Anyways, they grabbed breakfast at the Beverly Glen Deli in the wealthy enclave of Bel Air. Everyone was dressed very casually for the meal. Lisa, 61, and Kyle, 55. And we see these pictures. Lisa looks wild, and Lisa truly looks like she has some sort of magical powers in these photos. Anyways, and it also brings up Carlos King, the producer and host of the Reality with the King podcast, saying, he said on his podcast, I'm being told that allegedly Doute and PK are fooling the audience with this divorce story based on his alcoholism, which is why Doute is telling everybody, including the post office guy, the milkman, and her gardener, that PK has a drinking problem. He's a big alcoholic. It says he also revealed the reasoning for the possible big lie Doute and PK are perpetuating. She needs to remain a main character on the show because they need the money. And it's because they need this money and they are so in dire needs of funds, allegedly, that Doute has nothing to lose. So that's interesting. That's from Carlos King. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I buy into that theory, you know? Interesting. Anyways, also, like we talked about many times, Freddie Mellencamp staying over at Kyle Richards right now. God, to be a fly on the wall at that, like, what do you think they're doing right now? What do you like? And do you think Kyle's like, I need alone time? Like, do you think they like watch TV, watch the boob tube together? What do you think they do at night? I don't know, man. That's what I'm going to be thinking about. Anyways, you guys, what a fun episode. I hope you had a great time. Tune in Friday. We got our Salt Lake City recap as we always do, and we might add a little Southern charm on Saturday. I don't know why I said it that weird, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here as always. And you guys have a great Thursday. Bye.